is Beth Rader. I'm a real estate agent here in Topeka, Kansas, and today I'm going to go over with you the process of buying a home at the same time as selling a home and give you kind of a visual of what that would look like if you were going to make the offer on a new home contingent on the sale of your old home. So how you handle this process will vary depending on what you have to sell, what you want to buy, and what the market's like, what your lender decides depending on your debt to income ratio. But this is a few examples of how people will handle this. All right, so let's say that you have to make the offer to buy a new home contingent on the sale of your old home. So how would that look? Say you find a house, you want to put an offer in on it. In that contract, you want to write that contingency to sell your old home by the day that you're going to close on the new home. And you also want to ask for a long closing date. So let's say you go under contract on a new home, they've accepted your offer of contingency and a long closing date. Let's say you have a 60-day closing here. Once you go under contract with this new home, you want to make sure your home is ready to list right away, okay? So you want to make sure you've got your house on the market right away as soon as you go under contract here. That way, you have time to market your current home and get it under contract by October 1st. That way, you still have time for a 30-day closing on your old home. So you'll use the proceeds from your old home and they'll go directly to your new home, okay? So that's kind of how people organize an offer that is contingent on selling your current home. Unfortunately, in this market, it's kind of a seller's market, so you have to make your offer pretty competitive. So some people will handle this a little differently. They will make the offer to sell their home contingent on them finding a new home to buy. So let's say, for example, you go ahead and list your current home, you get it under contract, you have in that contract, you agree to a long 60-day closing to sell your current home. That way, it will give you the 60-day here. That way, it'll give you time to look for a new home. But in that situation, unless you want to end up renting, you want to be under contract by October 1st. That way you still have time to purchase a new home. So the proceeds from your old home will still go directly to your new home, but your offer, whenever you go to make an offer right here on a new home, you're already under contract up here. So that's a little more attractive when you go to make an offer on a new home. Back up here, when you go to make an offer, you're not under contract yet. So there's a little bit of an unknown. So the seller down here isn't as inclined to accept that offer just because contingencies aren't the most attractive thing in a contract. But sometimes there's just no way to avoid that. If you have the flexibility to make your purchase of a new home not contingent on the sale of your old home, that gives you the most flexibility. However, your debt to income ratio would have to support you handling two mortgages. But how that would look and how that would look and how you can try to eliminate the risk of having two mortgages at one time. Let's say you find a home you want to purchase and you go under contract September 1st on a new home. You would want to ask for maybe, let's say, a 35-day closing. Whatever day you go under contract, you want to make sure you time it to where your first payment would not come due until this following month here in December 1st, because you have to be in your home for a full month before you make your first payment. So this is you purchasing a new home. Now you want to sell your old home and you have the flexibility to list it anytime right here. You know, you can list it, you can be getting it ready to go. You can list it whenever, but you just want to make sure you're under contract by November 1st, giving yourself time to have a 30-day closing, because your home, you're going to have your next monthly payment. You don't want to be stuck with 2 mortgages. So that's kind of how you can avoid it. It gives you plenty of time. The average days on market is, I don't know, I think it's 22. I haven't looked in a few days, but the average days on the market are low enough. You shouldn't have any trouble finding someone to buy your home in this time frame, and still you're gonna have minimal risk of 2 mortgages. If you are overpricing your home, or maybe your home is not in a desirable area, this might not be the best option, but really it will just kind of depend on your circumstances. But that's how it would look if you're trying to minimize the risk of 2 payments, but you need to have an attractive offer. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help and go over the process with you any more in depth. And like I said, this is not the only option when it comes to buying a home at the same time as selling a home. You can also maybe qualify for a bridge loan or a home equity line of credit. Maybe you want to make your offer to sell your home and add to that an agreement that you can rent back your home once it's sold for a period of time, giving you more time to search for a new home. So you have a little bit of flexibility there on what you want to do. All right, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Have a good one.